Hey guys, Infidel 1258 here. Today we're going to talk about Daarg DeadBlast. This is the new legendary rebellion monster that is amazing. And I think it might be heralding a new moment in Splinterlands. Not just this card and its abilities. Notice it's got 3 magic damage. It has weapons training. Weapons training is powerful. This is the most important weapons training because of its placement within the game. Without spoiling too much of what we're going to get into, I actually think this card might be must-have, and I actually think we might be moving in a meta shift because of what Weapons Trainer is becoming. There are changes coming to Weapons Trainer. Stick around. I'll tell you all about it. Check out my members page on my YouTube channel. Consider subscribing at whatever level you're interested. You'll be invited to weekly live events, and you'll have access to a lot of members-only content. Yeah, I'm joined by Golden Skeeter in this one, and we talk about Daarg DeadBlast, talk about Rebellion, we talk about synergies, we talk about the meta shift coming, I think, out of Rebellion introducing and rearranging the power and impact of Weapons Trainer. So if that sounds interesting, stick around, stay tuned, like, and subscribe. Thanks, guys. Have an amazing day. Bye.
Yeah, I want to compare it to the Supply Runner if you also want to maybe get that, ready.
Okay, so I'm going to pull up Supply Runner because the Speed Archer, right?
Yeah.
What are you thinking there? Like, what are you seeing, or what makes you draw that comparison?
So they both have swiftness, and the other card has swiftness, and you play the Supply Runner just for swiftness by itself. And then this card seems to have swiftness thrown onto it as well for some reason. It just seems very powerful, and they both do 3 damage, but this does magic damage, which is better. Yeah, it's slower, but it's going to usually land unless they have phase.
Yeah.
And then it buffs the whole team by 1, so it's okay if it's slow. And on top of that, it gives weapons training, and it gives magic damage weapons training, which is the best form of weapons training because it can attack anywhere, no matter what, even after the card dies. So this guy can give 9 damage to your other 2 adjacent monsters in total, including itself. Yeah. And also has triage, which is like super powerful when you want to put your like Bakjira, then Daarg DeadBlast, and then like a Chaos Agent or something. Yeah. And then you have the triage to protect your heal up front, and then you have the triage with the Wave Brood in the back or another taunt. So then you get to keep your extra attack going as well with those cards.
Peter, there you go. You got it. Yeah, I think you're spitting facts over there. I think you're right about what you're saying. I think this card is a superior Supply Runner in every way. Now, the Supply Runner is neutral, and you might use both in some situations, but I do like it is okay that this is a slow card. You think to yourself, like, because really, if this had a 4 speed, what would be the weakness? This card would be absolutely amazing. This is the obvious impediment, and even this weakness is a strength in the reverse rule set. And so you think, like, it's got everything I want from a backline magic tank. Like, I mean, it's got a good amount of hit points. I don't want 3, 4, 5 hit points because it can get spike damage killed immediately. 8 is a bit more resilient. And then like you said, this one card is theoretically putting 9 magic damage on the table, because this is 3, and then you put beside it. Okay, so we're water splintered. Let's go over to peak monsters, and we'll look at the water and neutral non-attacking monsters. So water and neutral, and theoretically also whoever partners with blue, right? Because you could use a summoner that brings in that partnership. But for now, let's just look at non-attacking water and neutral. And these are the cards that you could slap 3 damage on. Almo Cambio, and now slipping out of the modern, but still, again, we want to analyze this from modern as well as wild. Look at these cards that could be in the first sec. You could put, again, Bakjira, like the weapons training situation. We like using it already with Bakjira, the melee damage weapon trainer. But you could put Bakjira in the 2nd spot now if you wanted. Or the 3rd, and make that your backline, and it'd be resilient from sneak defense and give it magic damage output. I still think the 1st spot makes sense. Wow. It Kelp Initiate. Like, I mean, putting damage on these things, 3 damage is a huge game changer. Weapons Trainer, I think that new modification they talked about with Weapons Trainer is such a gigantic change. And I haven't seen anybody do a video yet about how impactful the modification to Weapons Trainer is going to be. it's not a little tweak. It's a massive improvement to Weapon Trainer. Do you agree, first of all?
Totally. I think it'll be super insane, especially in like a poison rule set where you have Bakjir up in the front, and now you give it 3 magic damage, and it's healing, and you've already cleansed it from the poison. Like, that's just super powerful. The only thing it won't kill is another Bakjir.
Yeah, that's interesting. You're right, because one of the reasons that this ends up losing as a tank is because it gets poisoned or afflicted. But in that context, with this new Daarg DeadBlast, you can bring it in the second spot, give your Bakjir a magic damage output, and also give yourself a secondary tank with 8 hit points that has, triage and supporting your team, but then also drop a Kelp Initiate maybe in the third spot, which is going to bring a cleanse. Now this will be a wild card, I think, again, but you're going to bring a cleanse to support the erasure of the poisons or the afflictions that are going to slow down.
And there's the 4 mana Chaos Legion card with cleanse too.
Which one's that one?
It's a magic monster with cleanse. It does 2 magic damage and it gets swiftness at the highest level.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. Is that the River Nymph?
Yeah.
This is a strong card with the swiftness too. This is a very strong card. I used to lose to this a lot. Now I use it more often. Yeah, man, very exciting. This card looks to me, for 7 mana, this is a very powerful card. I see this being, like, to me, must have. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be very powerful, and you're probably going to lose to it, especially at the beginning when you don't know how to combat it, and it's giving out 9 magic damage, split amongst 3 monsters. So that's why I think Silence is going to be really important to cards who have weapons training and magic.
Yep.
Because then the Silence is going to hit 3 cards, like that Fungal Spore card that just came out for Earth. Like,
Yes.
I think this guy will be like the counter to that. So I'm glad there's some other good counterplay in there.
Yeah, and also we already have Immortalis, who's going to nerf, in some sense, the magic damage you produce with your weapon trained magic monster. Because if my monsters have silent or void, then we're more resilient. You're right. Lurking Puffer is an amazing card too, because of that silence, because of the hit points, because of its partnership with Immortalis. But if you don't see this coming, and I drop 9 magic damage on you for what could be like picture I put the Kelp Initiate in the first spot, Daarg Blaster in the second spot, and the Chaos Agent in the third spot, and I get 9 magic damage for literally 10 mana. That's not counting a summoner, but that's 10 mana, 3 monsters, 9 magic damage with good speed, with the swiftness, by the way, the Kelp Initiate, and you could conceivably do that play I just described, bringing in a dragon monster that brings phase, the dragon summoner, Thispa brings phase, and you put phase on your Kelp Initiate, which has 6 speed already, plus the swiftness from your Daarg Blaster, or you put the Chaos Agent in the first spot, which naturally has dodge and phase, and the swiftness from your Daarg Blaster. Like, for 10 mana, you're getting that. So if you don't see that coming, and I do that, you're in big trouble. Simultaneously, go.
Oh, sorry. Even for just 14 mana, you just throw in the Bakjira instead of the Kelp Initiate with the Chaos Agent in the rear, and that's still 9 damage for 14 mana in monsters.
Yeah. Guys, what are you seeing with this chat? What are you seeing about Daarg DeadBlast? I'm going to read all the comments, and if you got more to say about this, I want to hear it, because to me, I do think this is a must-have card. I think the Weapons Trainer new ability, the reframing of what that is, absolutely makes it so impactful, but not necessarily equally so, because we already know that melee fires in the first spot. Magic fires in any what I'm saying is archery does not fire in the first spot unless you have a close range monster or unless you have a close range summoner. And so to me, magic and melee are the two And magic is the best weapon trainer. The best weapon trainer, period. And then it's magic, or sorry, melee by like in a distant second, and it's archery in the third, for the reasons I just laid out. So this is important, or sorry, this is really impactful already, but then is the fact that it's not just half of what this is. So he would have used to impart 2 magic. Now he's going to impart the 3. That's a huge difference. And then it's not erased if you kill my Daarg DeadBlast, because I've already trained. Like, this is so huge. Yes, it's slow. That'll be, that's the give and take. But for 7 mana, like if this was, if this was a higher number, we'd be talking 10, 12 mana. Like if this was a 5 or a 4 or something, I can't see you getting away with, less than 10 mana. What do you think about that, Skeet?
Yeah, exactly. I think something had to give, as you said, especially if it had like 4 or 5 speed, like this card would have to be like 9 mana at least.
Yeah.
And the 8 HP is very impactful too, because it's not going to eat all the opportunity hits. Like you can build a team around less than 7 HP or less, so your deep lurker doesn't go straight for your weapons trainer and triage. So then he'll triage other people too if they get opportunity attacks as well. So yeah, he seems really good against deep lurker as well, which is very dominant in the meta.
Picture this: you bring the Daarg. So you build a water team, and you got your Boktir in the first spot. You got Daarg in the second. You've got Chaos Agent in the third, because 1, it's evasive, it's lower hit points, meaning it becomes an opportunity target, but you intentionally want that because the Chaos Agent has 4 speed intrinsically, dodge, and phase, I think. Yes, it does. And then you bring out the Daarg is giving you 1 more speed, giving you a triage to help support you if you need. And then, of course, you're going to bring more swiftness, more slow, maybe a blind if you can, but mana permitting. But even that is going to be really interesting from a sneak defense, an opportunity defense. It's going to give you a good amount of magic damage output. But one more step farther, mana permitting, you bring a lookout and you put it in the 4th spot. You put a lookout in the 4th spot, and now you're going to reduce the damage that the Chaos Agent is taking in that scenario. And so the triage from Daarg is being maximized. The weapons trainer is being maximized. You're channeling and chaining. You're channeling your opponent's attack by manipulating your placement of your lowest hit points. I think it's very, very exciting and interesting.
Yeah, and if you want to use the summoner tactics too, and you think they're going to go really hard on your Chaos Agent, and you think it can survive, you can give your Chaos Agent shield on top of all that. Too,
That's right. That's right.
Or your Boktir shield, or whatever you want to do.
Yeah, and this could be an interesting partner in there. This is a dragon that could come into play with the blind. And this is 4 hit points. So, but this will be in your. Because if you have 2 monsters that have 4 hit points, the first one in the order of monsters is the one that will be the focus. Until some other monster has less hit points, assuming opportunity is what you're trying to dodge. So yeah, like this could be interesting from the blind perspective. From the does amplify damage increase backfire damage?
I don't think so.
Okay,
it might though. I forget.
Who else is there? Who are some lookouts? Do we know a bunch of lookouts, or we just know the one lookout?
I'm just familiar with that one that's about. Yeah, that guy too. But
it's blue. It's blue, dude. So that really does work. All of that, everything's just said. And you got another tank heal for your Boktir. Whoa, so 6 for the Boktir, 7 for the Daarg DeadBlast, 1 for the Chaos Agent, 6 more for the Anna Soothsayer. I think you're at 12, 19. You're at 20. That's 20 mana plus your summoner for that amazing team. Super resilient with double tank heal, huge hit point pool. There's a cleanse in there. Are you kidding me? There's a dispel on there, so you can counteract any of their, weapon training nonsense. Oh my goodness! Plus, dodge makes it a pretty decent sneak defender in and of itself. Wow. Hey.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, totally. That's a lot of magic damage as well in that team. Maybe I would throw in like a cheap archery monster just to get a little archery damage in case they have a void. But yeah, it seems like a very powerful team that you're just talking about there.
Yeah, and that's not even scratching the surface of like the new multicolor summoners and how they're going to bring in a bunch of, that was just, we were really leaning on blue, but now we know that blue's going to partner with something. And so, well, blue partners with black, right? Yeah, so we know that. Like, I mean, is that just changes everything. It changes everything. This is very exciting. I said I wanted to check the chat. Let's check the chat. Gathering says, okay, hang on a second here. Boom. That new card is awesome. Swiftness and dodge with 1 speed is interesting. That's the one impediment, right? It doesn't make a lot of sense to give a 1 speed monster a swiftness, but at the same time, it's a team benefit. You're gonna enjoy everyone else having that benefit. He's almost like he's a real support monster in a non-traditional sense, because the weapon trainer is supporting, creating more damage, which isn't usually my thought around what something means to support, but he is providing that triage. And the speed is all team support. Thanks for popping by, Paul. Appreciate you, man. Magic weapon trainer is strong with the new WT changes. What does that mean? WT. Oh, weapon trainer changes. Yes. I like the slow release of and building of hype. Me too. Battle Beast. Yeah. I like what they're doing in terms of giving different content creators different access to different cards. It's been creating these like ongoing, it's not just like one big download. In the past with Chaos Legion, with Untamed, it was like, here's 90 new cards. Go figure it out. And that was fun, of course. Skeeter, I know your head works like that too. You love, like you said, you prepared all kinds of notes on the different monsters. Your head goes to a place where you want to get into all the details of it. But people get overwhelmed by that. And then it makes it bite-sized. Here's 10. Here's 5 more. Here's 5 more. Here's 1 more. It's like kind of fun, and it keeps the conversation around Splinterlands. To me, it's quite great marketing.
I think so too. And it just keeps the hype going for the same amount of content they're releasing. And it's been a while since the last expansion. So I think extending the preview season is like a very good move. Like in Magic the Gathering, they realized they love preview season, so now it's preview season for the new set. Pretty much like feels like the whole year, but it's probably only like 2/3 or 3/4 of the year, and it's gotten a bit much. But Splinterlands doesn't have a new card dropping and a new set dropping every like 6 weeks, so this is really nice to spread it out.
Look at this comment from Gathering. Power creep is here, no doubt. Compare these cards with Alpha Beta. I think he's right. Do you mentioned it in the last live? There's definitely some power creep in here that you've seen, hey?
Oh yeah, like this card could have easily been like 9 mana. Yeah, I would still probably play him.
Yeah. What are some of? Let's move a little. Like I still want to keep talking about this. I see lots of things, but you have tons of thoughts on some of these other ones on the topic of power creep. What and even your notes that you've created so far. What are some of the thoughts? Where are some of the places where you're like, wow, how is that card a card for that cost? Do you have any of those?
Yeah, so I was looking at that puffer card, and that card seems very powerful for its mana. It's not exactly power creep because there's that 2 mana magic reflect guy with the big shield on Earth, but I still think he's very powerful. I think that card was just too powerful, so I'm glad they didn't really power creep him.
Yeah, I would say on this lurking puffer, I would almost agree with you and maybe like go add like a bit of depth to what I'm hearing you say. This card's maybe not quote unquote power creep because it's a lot like the failed summoner, which is leaving. But the fact that this is a non-attacking unit that is really playable, that is on par with some of the old non-attacking units like the failed summoner. I think it's probably better, but let's say it's even equal. I think just the fact that Weapon Trainer has become what it's going to become and that it even exists makes a card like this more powerful. That is like the between the lines non-attacking units just got a natural buff. And as we introduce more and more Weapon Trainers, it's like you almost have to look at a card like this and just say, when they have no attack, they have whatever attack you want. And in that perspective, I think this card is way better than the failed summoner because you create and with these cross splinter synergies, there are going to be like these are opportunity. This is a palette for you to paint on, and you're going to make it what you want. And for sure, this leans so well into the Immortalis already. Like I said in my own video, the poison is amazing. I love that this is like, hey, we know you're going to put Weapon Trainer on here, right?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, even if this card is just equal footing to the Field Summoner, now with this weapon training, all these cards with no attack just get so much stronger. And I'm like almost more excited just to play no attack cards after seeing how good like the Chaos Agent is and the Field Summoners. I'm like, yes, these no attack cards are very strong. All your cards don't have to do damage to win the game.
Mm-hmm. That's right. No, totally.